Hey everybody, welcome to the Fired Up with CJ show. Today we have Karen Brailsford and we are talking about her book, Sacred Landscapes of the Soul. Could you hold the cover of your book up, Karen? Aligning with the divine wherever you are. Okay, so welcome back. We're starting on part two. And wherever you are, okay, I don't even know. It feels like we are in some sort of hell as a society. Total chaos is erupting. Um, and I don't know if of these landscapes, which one do you feel like we're in right now?
Hmm. Um, I do believe that we can be in more than one landscape at the same time. But the first landscape that I introduced is the landscape of the forest, wherein
Okay.
we are in the midst of chaos. And the very first piece is called the calm in the chaos. So the idea is that no matter where we are, no matter what is happening around us, that we can come to center and find alignment and find peace. And so this doesn't mean that we're going to ignore what's happening, that we're going to deny what's happening. I don't believe in spiritual bypassing what we're feeling, but it's about being present with those feelings. And once we are present with those feelings, we can move gently. We can move with a sense of intention and purpose to a place wherein we can see um, the light. The light, people say, the light at the end of the tunnel. I actually have a piece in which I talk about the light that's in the tunnel.
Mm,
Um, that we don't have to wait for something to happen outside of us to feel centered.
mm,
If we were to give all of our power to whoever is sitting in the White House or some other person or some other thing outside of us, I really do feel that that's a really hard road to navigate. That really it comes from within.
mm.
And so the way that I like to get centered is by breathing and meditating, by reading inspirational pieces, by of course acknowledging I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling upset. Um, I like to dance it out.
Mm.
I think I talk about that in the introduction, I believe. How I was feeling 4 years ago, November at the election, upon the election. And I really do feel that there are a number of tools, whether it's dancing or screaming or venting and reading and praying, um, that one can find a sense of peace, find a sense of calm.
Okay, so let's talk. We have so much to talk about in probably your own personal life, if you wouldn't mind, because it will help to kind of add more texture to the story. So you've had fires in your neck of the woods. I have two where we have been smoked out. You have Black Life Matters. You have COVID. You have um, politics that are kind of literally every single day we're pummeled with some new thing and new and huge changes. Tell me about your lowest point in all these litany. I have so many things for you to choose from. What was your lowest point, and how did you navigate it using this whole idea of aligning with the divine?
Hmm. Can I just say the very fact that we are laughing right now, that's a spiritual tool.
Yes,
The
this is
fact that
true.
the fact that you are saying all of this and somehow we're both laughing. I think that speaks to how ridiculous this all seems, how crazy it seems, and I do think that that laughter that we just shared is healing in and of itself.
Hmm.
So that said, my lowest point, um, I remember about a couple of months ago. It just hit me. It wasn't because anything specific had happened, but I had this thought, and the thought was, oh my goodness, what if we don't have an election? Like that, and this was before all this recent talk about, what we know what's happening and
Hmm.
what we're reading about. And so this was some months ago, and I felt this sense of panic. I
Mm,
felt this sense of like for me that would, in that moment, it seemed to symbolize that all anarchy
mm,
had happened. The
right.
idea that the United States of America might not have an election. So that thought spiraled um, inside of me, and I had to catch my breath. I had to catch my breath. It was so overwhelming to me. And please know, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen. I'm
No,
just
no,
saying,
but like we have all different. My version was a different version of that, but we all have this
mm-hmm.
point. We hit a point, and then our mind starts creating these stories, and it starts accelerating.
And it starts to spiral.
And you said that it was about what you've learned is it's coming back to aligning and being in the center. So when you went out, whoo, like, oh my God, there's not an election. What happens if we don't, and we're United States of America, we're not going to have an election. That's what it would look like with me if I were doing it. I'm not sure what it looked like with you for you at the time, but how did you bring yourself back to center?
Hmm. By bringing myself back to the now. Um, I didn't, I remember closing my eyes. I remember really feeling, okay, where am I right now? And I felt, I focused in on my feet. I was planted on the ground. I focused on my breath. I focused on the fact that my heart was beating. Right now, in that moment, all was well. Right now, in that moment, I was breathing, I was alive. Um, and so for me, it does always come back to the power of now, the power of
Mm-hmm.
being in this moment, because we really don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I find that dwelling in the past um, didn't wasn't going to keep me focused either.
Right.
so, so
Or the potential future, dwelling in the past, the potential catastrophic future that we all imagine in our mind, whatever that may be.
mhm.
It doesn't
It's all a
really,
story that we're making up because we really don't know.
yeah.
Um, so it's all about now and now and now and now in each and every moment.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I mean, I think staying positive and hopeful when you start listening to the news, meditation certainly helps. Like I just, um, I don't know. I hit my low point last not this past like a week and a half ago when the fires occurred here, and there's just like it feels like should I be meditating all day? Like I may have to. It's been that between meditation, walking, and yoga, that is how I have kept sane because there's just
Mm,
so much tension that is needed for me at least to discharge. There's like a built up tension, and then it's like to release so that I can even be centered. So for me, there's a precursor to even being it's like feeling so for me I actually feel a physical sensation so I haven't been able to breathe. I'm like I have not been able to take a full deep breath
mm-hmm.
and it's been that way for probably a week and a half and so I all I can do is remind myself to breathe
Yes.
and then do a yoga practice, which I do. Like I try to do little 20-minute sprints. If I can't do it
Mm-hmm.
throughout the day, just do those kinds of things. And meditation to just like center my mind so that my mind isn't like whirling in different directions. Um, it's hard to do, but I think really important to do. Um, so in the next segment, what I wanted to do is talk about talking to God. I mean, so you're actually speaking to God. Probably God speaks with us, and I don't. And we can call it the universe, life energy, whatever you want to call it, because some people may feel aversion to the word God, but I'm going to use that as the term, even though I know it may be offensive and I apologize. But this is probably the easiest way to communicate about this idea of something greater than ourselves. So I wanted in the next segment to talk about that. Thank you so much. We've been talking to Karen Brailsworth about her book, Sacred Landscapes of the Soul, Aligning with the Divine Wherever You Are. Thank you so much.
It means so much to me that you're listening to the show. Would love your support in any way by giving me comments below or to subscribe to the show or share the show with friends. Thank you again for your support. Love and blessings.